Have you ever played Deadman mode before? If you haven't, you are living under a rock. I'm going to show you how you can survive your first hour of Deadman Annihilation. There are 6 main areas that we're going to be focusing on, and those are quests, requirements, sigils, survivability, money making, and training. So let's get started with the quests. So there's 5 of them: the Grand Tree, Waterfall Quest, Tree Gnome Village, Fight Arena, and Children of the Sun. But the twist is, they're not going to be done one at a time. They are going to be completed all together as efficiently as possible. But in order to do that, there is one requirement that we need to get out of the way, and that is 25 agility. Oh, and a couple quest items that are pretty easy to get. We're going to start by teleporting to the Tree Gnome Stronghold and starting the Grand Tree. Go to the nearest bank and bank all of your items. We're going to get 25 agility at the Gnome course. Leveling up our character is important. There's something that is infinitely more important than that, and that is sigils. Sigils are unlocked by purchasing them with Deadman mode points. You can get them through completing quests, leveling up, achievement diaries and tasks, clue scrolls, breaches, and killing bosses. Half of those we can't do in our first hour, but there are some that we are going to be doing, and that is quests and leveling up. And there are some sigils that we really want to prioritize early. Some of these are the Sigil of Life, that gives you agility XP as you run around. Consistency, that basically hits a flat +1 damage to every hit. Basically you can never miss. There's also the Sigil of Resilience, which gives you a 15 times HP restore. The Sigil of Devotion, which gives you 3 times prayer XP. And the Sigil of Mobility, which saves your runes when you teleport. So you might not need them straight away, but definitely keep them in your mind for later. Once you've got 25 agility, leave the Gnome Stronghold, go up these stairs, get the Book of Backstorian and read it. Come down here and go find some moss giants and suicide to them. It's the quickest way to get back to Lumbridge. Once at Lumbridge, you want to go and talk to the magic tutors so that you can get a Drayman staff. Go to the bank and grab a Chronicle, teleport using the Chronicle to Varrock, make your way to the magic shop and buy maybe 50 of each elemental rune here. And then optionally here, come and do the Varrock Museum quiz, and that should give you 27 Hunter and 27 Slayer. The reason you want to do this is so that you can get some early points that you can then use to buy some sigils. Not only that, once you've got above 20 in a skill, you can then go upstairs here and you should be able to claim 2 XP lamps from Historian Minas. And what you're going to do is you can either put both of those in Slayer for later, or if you want to try and maximize the amount of points you get, you can go for 1 in Slayer and 1 in Hunter. Another nice quest to get out of the way early on is Children of the Sun. Why the hell would we do Children of the Sun in our precious first hour? Well, we need a moneymaker in case we die, and that moneymaker is Eclipse Reds. Eclipse Reds can be collected and banked in the Hunter Guild. You do not need 46 Hunter to do so. You just need to click on the bank rather than on the banker, and then you can bank those Eclipse Reds in the bank. Bank, bank, bank. You can then sell these to a shop in Alderin for 700 GP each, or you can high out them for 600 GP. With the Alchemaniac sigil, that's 780 GP, because you get 30% on top. You'll be netting 200k GP per hour by doing this method. Pretty good in case you die. There's actually one more reason why we're doing Children of the Sun, but you'll find out shortly. Grab a bronze axe from the bank and chop 6 logs, or if you want to be really efficient, you can go to the Grand Exchange and buy 6 normal logs. It's also worth buying some lore runes if you have the money, especially if you're able to buy a Sigil of Mobility with your points. Grab your starter staff, translation book, bark sample, 6 logs, your elemental runes, your lore runes, and as many tuna as you can carry. Grab your Drayman staff and make your way to the west side of GE. Use the fairy ring here to go to CLS, which is the closest fairy ring to Hazelmere. What we're going to do is we're going to climb up this ladder and we're going to talk to Hazelmere to get his message. And once we've done that, we want to fairy ring back to CIQ, which is the closest one to Tree Gnome Village. Run west and then north, traverse the maze and continue the waterfall quest. Be careful of these hill giants. Make your way down this ladder and continue the waterfall quest. Once you make your way down the ladder, come to the eastern room and search the crate for a key. Use that key to get to Golry, who should give you Glariel's Pebble. Make your way up the ladder and get into Tree Gnome Village to start and complete the Tree Gnome Village. Follow all the steps in the quest guide. Now there's one area that you want to be careful in this quest is when you climb over this crumbled wall, that Khazad commander may hit you 4 times. So just be hovering over food as you climb over, eat, and then make your way up this ladder. grab the orbs and move. Also be careful of these wolves. They don't have a high max hit, but just always be wary of your HP as you're walking towards General Khazad. The best way to safe spot the Khazad warlord is coming over here to the west. You'll have to talk to him first, and you want to run all the way west, and there's a point at which he loses aggro on you, so you want to go past that point, attack him when he's stood around here, and what that should do is that should make him back off into that corner. If he backs off somewhere else, then just try again. You'll have to get back into aggro range, run out, and repeat until he backs off into this corner. And that is how you safe spot him and take no damage. You don't want to face tank him because you will die. Complete the tree gnome village. After that, you can use the travel option on the spirit tree to get to the grand tree or the gnome stronghold. At this point, make your way to the bank and grab some money. Once you get to the grand tree, grab some money and then continue the grand tree until you make your way on the glider to Karamja. When you get to Karamja, kill a monkey and grab the monkey bones. You'll need this for monkey madness later. Be really careful of these tribesmen and tribeswomen, and you also want to be careful of the joggers. Continue the quest until you get into the shipyard and kill the foreman, grab the lumber order, and you can charter your way to Brimhaven. Charter to Brimhaven for 400 GP, and then once you're here you want to take the boat to Ardoon. You might be wondering, how the hell do we increase our survivability the second our PvP protection runs out? Well, there's a couple of ways. So we need to level up to the top of our combat bracket before our PvP protection runs out. That way we look menacing and people are scared to attack us. Not only that, you do need to level up your HPs to be able to complete some of these quests. So we need a minimum HP of 15 just to get past the quests. I'd probably recommend 20. And just to give you a glimpse of some of the dangers that we're going to face, here are the max hits of some of the NPCs that we need to be aware of. At this point, you want to make your way to Ardoon Zoo and safe spot by casting some fire strikes or whatever your best spell is onto any of the animals in here. The aim here is we want to increase your HP to at least 16. I'd advise if you're new or returning to the game or don't feel confident, get 20 HP. It's going to give you survivability, and that's the main thing that you want in Deadman mode. After having gotten the additional HP levels, come to the general store and buy 2 ropes and a ball of wool. Then go to the bank, all your gear and inventory. All you need on you is your Glarios pebble, your rope, chronicle, some food, as much food as you can, 6 airs, 6 waters, 6 earths. Then you want to continue the waterfall quest until you are outside Glarios tomb. When you get outside Glarios tomb, you'll need to drop your runes here. Others shouldn't be able to pick up your runes. You need to get back to these runes within 2 minutes. So you want to drop these, use your pebble on the tombstone, and then run past these moss guardians. They can hit 14. You can tag one of these zombies before you run past. You can even walk past so they don't lose aggro. Then just walk past these moss guardians. They might switch aggro to you if you haven't got a zombie on you, so you can just stop so that the zombie hits you. Continue walking, get to this chest, get your amulet, and then move away. So you want to keep this skeleton on you the whole way. Or if you have plenty of food, just YOLO it, run through, make sure you keep above 15 HP at all times. You have tons of tuna on you, so just chomp away anytime you go below 15 HP. After you've got the amulet, you want to do the same thing over here with this moss guardian. Grab one of these skeletons or zombies, and then make sure they hit you back, walk towards the tomb, and then grab the urn and make your way back. If the zombie gets stuck, don't fiddle too much, just get the urn and run away. You don't want to get smacked multiple times by this guardian because you will die. So you want to leave this tomb with both the amulet and the urn. Make sure when you climb back up, grab your runes. Hopefully nobody's picked them up. They shouldn't have been able to, but hopefully they haven't, and they haven't disappeared. Pick them up. Get out of the cave and grab your dropped runes. Hopefully they haven't disappeared. If they have, it's not the end of the world. You can go back to the bank and grab some more. If you survived up until this point, you are in the upper echelon of RuneScape players. However, if you weren't so fortunate, this is how you can turn it around. Retrieve your stuff from Death's office and use your Chronicle to get to the GE. Grab 6 earth runes, 6 air runes, and 6 water runes. Check if you've lost Glarios Pebble. If you have, use the fairy ring to go back to CIQ and then get the pebble back from the dungeon in Tree Gnome Village. Once you've done that, you can take the tree to get back to the Grand Tree. If you're already 37 agility through having the light sigil, you can use a shortcut to the northeast of the Grand Tree to get to the tomb, or else you can take the long way around and walk like a peasant like the rest of us. Now that everyone's up to speed, let's continue the waterfall quests you should have all the items on you, so you can just go to the northwest and continue the waterfall. When you board this raft, please stop everything you're doing. You really need to stop everything you're doing, because everybody that hasn't done this quest in a long time will click swim to this rock and then they'll get frustrated and quit. What you want to do is right click, you want to use rope and click it on the rock. You're just going to grab the rope and get to this side. And then you're going to do the same again. Do not click on this tree. Use rope on dead tree, the one nearest to you, not the one down there. Once you're in here, just be careful of these fire giants. They can hit 11s, so as long as you're above 12 HP, you should be fine. As you're progressing through the quest, you don't want to click on the chalice that is up here. What you do want to do, however, is right click, use your urn, and then use it on the chalice. If you take the treasure, you're going to get washed out of here, so be really careful. At this point, you should get some nice XP from completing the waterfall quest. It should give you a ton of combat levels. You're going to chronicle teleport out, and then make your way north to the GE. Go to the bank and grab Glau's journal and the lumber order, and that way you can continue the grand tree. You also want to grab your starter staff here as well. When you need to fight the black demon, there's an easy safe spot one step north of the ladder. As long as you stand here, you can't get hit by the black demon. There is also another safe spot around here. You can safe spot the black demon from here as well. The black demon has a max hit of 16, so make sure your HP is above 17 at all times. If your HP isn't 17 yet, just stay north of the ladder and safe spot from there. You might have to wait your turn. After you've killed the black demon, make your way through the cave and complete the grand tree. You'll get some huge upgrades in terms of your skills and huge combat level upgrades as well. Come to the spirit tree and go to Tree Gnome Village. Use Elkoi to get out of the maze and then go and start the fight arena quest. There's just one thing that you need to be careful of, and that's the bouncer. It has a max hit of 13, so as long as you're above 14 HP at all times, you should be fine. But you can safe spot it on the west side of this corpse. If they come round, you can always just run to the other side, or just lure them around this corpse to get a safe spot. After you killed the Hellhound, you can escape from General Khazad. He does look scary, but he only hits 9, so he's actually fairly weak. You don't need to kill him, just escape from the door after you've killed the Hellhound. At this point, when you complete the fight arena, you should be really close to getting into the next combat bracket. If you're not there already, I'm going to show you how you can get there as fast as possible. Some of the pre-work we did is going to help us get there now. Use your Chronicle to get to Varrock and then come to the sword shop. You want to buy an adamant short sword here. It costs 2080 coins. Since we completed Children of the Sun, we're going to use the birdie to get to Varlamore and then run southeast to this exit. And finally, the last stage of our plan, training. So why did we unlock Varlamore? That is for this sand crab spot, which is going to be uncontested if you get here first. You won't need to be here for long, but essentially we're just going to be training here on defensive to get 61 combat so that we can shoot up to the next bracket and then use our next hour of PvP protection. You might be wondering, what's next? Well, what I would do is try and rush 43 player. You want to go to the Wildy Chaos Altar, and you want to do this in your PvP protection in your next bracket. Another thing that you want to get out of the way is Monkey Madness. It's not an easy quest on a low level, but if you have protection prayers, it's pretty easy. You may just have to do some of the quest outside of protection, so just beware of PKers. Finally, you want to get ready for your first breach. You're going to get tons of Deadman points by killing the breach monsters, so you do not want to miss your first breach if possible. Wait, before you go, there is just one thing I need you to do out of the following. Smash the like button, subscribe to be part of our journey, and comment down below what your secret plans are for the new season so that I can steal them and send you back to Lumbly, mate.